Hi everyone. So in this video I will show you how you can build a REST API using API gateway and Lambda function. So before starting, like I want to before starting writing the code, I will just show you what are the steps that you have to follow here. So the first step is like you have to create a Lambda function, right? So the Lambda function, we know that the Lambda function is like a cloud function. So you just write the code and you can run that code in the server. So basically you have to just write the code. You don't have to worry about the underlying server. Like you don't have to worry about how they manage the server or anything. The AWS will manage the server and create the environment for you. All you need to know that you just write the code and whatever code you want to write, like whatever logic you want to write, whatever response you want to send, based on that you can just write your lambda code and like the code in the lambda function, and you can just run it. So suppose you want to fetch some data from some external server or external database, so like that you can write the code logic in your lambda function and you can deploy it and you can run it. So yeah, so first of all you have to basically write lambda function and that will send a response to you. So and the second thing is like you have to create an API endpoint. And in AWS there is a service called API gateway. So using that you can create an API endpoint. So in that basically you have to create an API endpoint, and you can add some methods, like you can add some get methods or post method, like how the API endpoint should react whenever it sees a get method or post method or anything, any other methods. So second thing is you have to create a API endpoint. So the third thing is like you have to give the API endpoint permission to invoke the Lambda function. So by default, the API endpoint will not have the permission to invoke the function, or it does not know that which Lambda function you want to run. So specifically, so explicitly, you have to give the permission to that API endpoint, like what Lambda function you want to run, right? So that is the thing you have to do. Like you can specify for which function, like for which request you want to invoke which lambda function, right? Suppose, so we know that there are different type of requests, like you can send the get request, post request, or anything. So basically whenever we will send that request to that API endpoint, so it will trigger the lambda function. So whenever suppose you are sending a get request to that endpoint, so it will invoke the lambda function, and then the lambda function will run and will get the output. So that is how it will work in my computer screen. So first of all you have to log in to the AWS management console. So here I have logged into the AWS management console. So now you have to, here you have to search for the lambda. So basically you have to create a lambda function, so you can search for the lambda here. And right now I have not created any function, so first of all you have to create a function actually. So you can click on that create function, and you can, here it is. So there are different options. So for this case we will choose the author from scratch option. So you have to give a name, so we can give any name. So I'll just give it node demo. So in runtime you can choose different optional layer, like different environment. So you can choose like node.js if you want to write your code in node.js. In javascript you can choose node.js. If you want to write in java is there, go, .net, ruby, python, all these things are there. So whatever language you want to use, you can use that. For now I am using the node.js. And in the advanced setting we don't need to make any changes. So now you can click on the create function. So it takes some time to create the function, so we can just wait. So once the function is created, then we can use that. So I'll just stop the recording now and start it once again. Once the function is, yeah, so the function is created now, you can see. So the function is that we have given name is node demo. So now if we see that by default AWS Lambda will create a boilerplate code for you, and you can see that is a code. So basically whenever that this Lambda function will run, so it will give us a response, right? In the response we have this object, so we'll get status code 200 and this object hello from Lambda, like that we will get it. Okay, so so right now we are not making any changes in the default configuration, default boilerplate code, but if you want you can definitely make some changes and customize the code as per your requirement. Okay, so yeah, so the function has been written. So after the function is written, so you have to deploy it. So sometimes the deploy button is not enabled, so you can, what you can do, like you can just make a small change, like suppose we want to make a changes like node demo, you want to just you have to just write some code here. So you just modified the code, and now you're getting a option to deploy, so we'll just click on the deploy. So now our function will be deployed, that, yeah. So now our function is created, it's deployed now. So now whenever this function will run, so it will send us a response. So this is the response object, so we'll get the response here. So our lambda function is created. Now we will move with the next step, that is we will create the API endpoint using the API gateway. The next step is like we have to create a API gateway. So we'll choose the API, so you can search for here API gateway, got that. So click on that, and we have to create an API endpoint. So here different options are there, so we'll choose the REST API. So you have two options like import and build. So if you choose the import, so like there they have some boilerplate code that is already built, so you can import from there. Otherwise we'll just choose the build. Choose the build option, click on OK, and then we'll choose the REST API option, this one, and we can choose the new API. And here they will ask you to give a name to your API, so you can just choose like test node demo, like that. You can give whatever name you want. After that we'll just click on create API, and it will create the API. So API is created. So first of all, and we have to create a resource actually. So you can click on that icon and click on that button and click on create resource. So you can give any resource, like you can say data, like that. So you have give that data here, and you can create that resource. So the resource is created. The next step is you have to create a method. So you can click on create method. So we'll choose the you can choose other methods also, but here I am choosing the get method. Click on get and click on that, and yeah. So now it is in the setup, it will ask you like what you want to do, like you want to send a HTTP mock, all those things are there, but here we are invoking the lambda function, so we'll choose the lambda. So yeah, there is an option called use lambda proxy integration. So if you click on that, so it's saying that request will be proxied to lambda with request details available in the event of the event handler function. So if you choose the, like if you, let me just open my uh, that lambda function once, so you will be able to understand easily. So if you open the lambda function, you can see there is an event object actually. So yeah, there is an event object, right? So but in this case we are not using that, but just in case you want to use that, so if you want to use that event object, then you have make sure that you click on the checkbox. Okay, that's what they have written here, like request will be proxy, whatever request that is coming, that request object will be available in the event. Okay, so event object in the event handler function. So if you want that to happen, like if you want the request to be accessible in the event object, so in that case you can make this checkbox checks. Otherwise you cannot check, like you may not want to check. So I am not checking this actually, so I'll just keep it blank. So here you have to write the function, yeah. So it will automatically suggest you, and then you can click on save. So yeah, it just a, not a warning, but it's just a information, like you are giving permission the API, you are giving that API to permission to invoke the lambda function. So you click on OK. So that is done now. So now we have to deploy that API. So we can click on deploy API. So there is a option called stage, so you can give any name, like it's like a stage, like you can give any name, like it's a test environment, or it's a dev environment, sandbox, like that. You can give any name, that's up to you. So I'll just give it dev environment, and these are the optional things, but make sure that you give some good name so that people can understand. So click on deploy. Yeah, so now it is deployed now. So you can see there is an invoke URL, so you can just use this URL to access the API. So yeah, so the thing is, like if you try to click on this icon, like if you try to open this, you can see, yeah, we're not able to access it. That's because like we have created a resource, right? So we have created a resource called data, and after that we have created the get method. So basically you have to add that resource after the invoke URL, right? So you have to add the data here. So because, yeah, now if you try to click, yeah, now you are getting the data. Okay, so make sure, that is the thing you have to keep in mind, that whatever resource that you are using, so you have to add that resource after the invoke URL name. So you can see after that you have used the data here, so now you'll be able to invoke that API. So that is how you can like create an API endpoint using the AWS Lambda and API gateway. And there are some other options also, like there is option called logs. So you can enable the CloudWatch logs. Like if you enable the logs, then you will be able to understand like how many traffic you are getting. If you are if you are getting any error or anything, like those things will be logged here. Like that you can do that. Okay, so yeah, so you just make sure that you click on the stage, and you click on whatever stage. So here you have given the dev, so click on dev stage and you will get that option like invoke URL. Now you can call that, like you can hit that API, this endpoint, and you will get the data. So yeah, that is how you can create an API and REST API endpoint using AWS Lambda and API gateway.